season that they were 27-0. I think the big difference in tonight's game was they just dominated the boards. Tips had 20 rebounds. She had 11 in the first half, and our team only had 30. And we've not played a team this year that has caused us has beaten us that badly on the boards. I thought our girls gave great intensity, but a lot of effort. But that little half-court 1-3-1 trap that they ran, we never could get in an offensive flow. And our strength was our outside shooting, and so, they eliminated a lot of that, so that was hard for us to overcome.
Were there any part in the second half where you kind of felt your girls were hustling, but didn't seem that whatever you could do, you just couldn't hold on to the ball or couldn't get the ball?
Yeah, I think we had rebounds in our hands a couple times, and got bumped a little bit, and it bounced in the other team's hand, and they laid it in the basket, and that's really discouraging because you've worked really hard, but that happened to a freshman on our team that was playing that position, and I told them I really think that was the big difference last year. The radio was asking me about it, that Catherine Romaine and Jamila just did a tremendous job on the inside, dominating the boards and rebounding for us. And this year, they were seniors. And this year we had a junior, a sophomore, and a freshman trying to do that, and an exchange student. And she played really well for us today. But it was, we just didn't do a good enough job.
Are all your players okay?
Well, I think Autumn, I don't know if her nose is broken or not. She's got plugs in it. She took a pretty nasty elbow to the nose. And Rajai seems to be doing okay. She was sick on her stomach. But, that's the whole thing. We told her before the game, leave it all on the floor, and she literally did.
Coach, you mentioned and like you said, coming in about the rebounding. For as a team is one thing, but when you have that one player in Tips who just kind of, it seemed like was grabbing everything. How hard is it to kind of plan and defend against that?
I don't know, because we were in a man, and if you can't block out the person you're guarding, I don't know what you do. And even when we were in the zone, our girl was stepping around to give help, and then when she recovered, she stood on the backside of her, and no one else helped out in the middle. And we assigned someone in the second half, but the individual we did had 3 fouls on her, and she didn't want to foul out of the game, and so she ended sitting because she didn't rebound.
Hickory coach mentioned that their team learned from last year's loss, and this was a 2-year journey for them coming back and winning it this year. Are you halfway through your 2-year journey to come back next year?
I don't know, but see, we were in the same position last year. Their sophomore year, we lost in Raleigh in the state championship game to Harding University. Isn't that what they were called? And, so that really was a driving factor for us. And so, we were hoping that we were playing in Carmichael and we were going to be able to put back-to-back state championships. But when you look at these seniors here, they have left such a tremendous legacy for Chapel Hill High School. Their class alone, they've won 113 games and only had 8 losses in 4 years. They've made 3 trips to the state championship game, and they're Eastern Regional champs 3 years in a row. And I just can't sing their praises enough, because there's a lot of people envy that record, and rightly so, because these girls have made it happen.
Question for the ladies. Over the last few years, what's the best thing you've learned from your coach?
We've learned so much that it's kind of hard to point out one thing. But she's always told us to just leave everything out there. Like, no matter what happens, as long as you know that at the end of the game that you did what you needed to do, then that's all that matters, regardless of if you won or if you lost. As long as you put your best effort forward, then that's all that matters.
One thing is how family-oriented we are. Our assistant coach always stresses the fact that we're a family and we have to play like it. We started together, we got to finish together.
To tag along what Jess and Rajaya said, Coach always says, leave it on the floor, play together, and the little things to take care of itself. And our assistant coaches always stress that God already has it written out. So, I mean, whatever happens, happens, because it's already wrote.
Okay, thanks.
To me, it left the game.
So she had like a stinger in her elbow, and she was her arm went limp. And the trainer said that she had hyperextended her elbow. So she was having trouble moving it. And, you know, when you lose feeling and stuff in it, that's really hard. You know, I'm looking here, one thing that we thought that we had to do well, and no one asked about this, but it was a team goal, was to shoot well from the free throw line. Rajaya was 8 of 8, and Autumn was 6 of 8. So we ended up being 16 of 23 for the game, and you know that was great. That was great for us. 80% in the second half, but anyway, 69, 70%. That was a good shooting night for us from the free throw lane, and that's one of the things that we worked on. And I'd just like to say, you know, these girls don't have anything to hang their head about. They've just played and done a really tremendous job this year. And I am so proud of them and all that they've accomplished.
Okay, thank you.